Man of many names. And let's look at the standings right here. I'll let you take it away, Crips.
Well, Orange Rock, obviously, they come out on the absolute top, having the central position to themselves, and the chicken dinner, they are leading with 30 points. Revenge, the last remaining team who somehow managed to crawl their way to the second place with 23 points. Initiative, trailing close behind at 17. And after that, 7Cs Esports, they did get quite a lot of kills, but unfortunately they got knocked out because they were caught in a very awkward position in the middle of the firefight with only 15 points. Cells and Team Tamil, they are very close to each other with 11, 10 points respectively. And after that, Insane and Full Power, they take the last few spots. Full Power obviously were the ones who started fighting very early in the game, and they lost quite a lot of players, which obviously led to their downfalls. AIM Gaming were caught in the middle of a very awkward rotation as we saw Maui gun them down ruthlessly in the middle of no cover at all, and they went out at the 9th spot with 7 points only. Meanwhile, Marcos Gaming, we saw them engage with Unicorn, not Unicorn, with Dumumba, my bad over there. Even after taking the early game fights, they are with only 3 and 2 points respectively. They are trailing quite far behind. Meanwhile, Rip Squad, Orb Elites, Elves, and JSLX with only 1 point each. No kills to their names at all. These guys are gonna be in trouble if they don't show up soon enough.
Well, let's hope that they do show up in Sandhawk, because Sandhawk is a very different kind of game here, where it's all about the pushes and it's all about those close encounters. My words are spilling out the wrong way. So I'm really hoping that Umamba, Marcos, GSLX, Rip Squad, Orb Elites, and Team Elves really come back. And hopefully this will be their comeback game. Yeah, but let's talk about Orange Rock. Like, what was that? They just had to sit there and take pot shots at people. It was such a great game for them. Do you think their luck will continue?
Well, obviously, this was way too easy for Orange Rock. In Group A, this is the team that has the highest amount of achievements to their name. So they're kind of the favorites to come out on top of their groups in the first place. But on top of that, if they keep having amazing rotations, I'm not sure if it was just pure dumb luck which gave Orange Rock all this advantage, or whether they actually predicted the circle going over there. But they did it well. And if the strongest team goes off at a very strong start like this, I'm starting to feel a little concerned for the other teams in the mix.
Alright, let's see if we can get some of these teams to come back, because we've already got a lot of people in chat who are rooting for Marcos Gaming, Raven, and a few other players. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are reading the chat right now. And so we'd like to know exactly how you think the second match for Sandhawk is going to pan out. Who are your favorite teams, and who do you think is going to actually win that chicken dinner in Sandhawk?
Speaking of Sandhawk, we did see in quarter tournaments how dreaded bootcamp turns out to be. If you drop there, you can either end up winning the chicken dinner entirely, or you get eliminated right off the bat. Surprisingly, in Sandhawk, the spread of when the fights take place is quite even. We saw in Erangel, the first few minutes of the game, it's pretty dull, and the teams have quite a lot of time to boot up and strategize their rotations. In Sandhawk, it's completely different. The fights start from the moment you land on the ground. So that way, team like Orange Rock once again have an advantage because they have strong individual players who thrive when it comes to aim battles. And on the other hand, we have PC's Orb Elite, who also have a lot of experience. And even though the players in those teams might not be as mechanically gifted as the ones in Orange Rock, they definitely have an edge over all the other teams that are entering this game. So, Rohan, I'd like to ask you a personal question over here.
Let's go.
Which team are you supporting? I mean, as casters, we're not allowed to support any team, but which team do you think will have an advantage going into the second map?
Well, I think Sandhawk is a very interesting map because it's really about how quickly you can get those frags. And I think my money is going to be on... Drum roll, please. I'm going to have to say... Seven
There's
Seas.
a problem over there.
I'm I'm gonna have to say seven C's. You know, Crips, if you could do me a favor and maybe increase your mic volume, that would be perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Let's just get that gain up just a little bit so that the lovely viewers who are sitting and watching the match can hear your beautiful, sexy voice. And then now the plane is started.
Wow.
Yes, much better, much better.
A lot of adjectives to describe my voice. Thank you so much. But if we were to describe the main path right now, it's leaning heavily towards the west. The other two islands are going to be hotspots. It's going to be difficult to get to places like Kampong, Lakwai, Camp Bravo, etc. Meanwhile, Ruins and Painan seem to be hot property. Surprisingly, Boot Camp will not be as heavily contested in this game, as I see very few teams headed that direction. Team Cells obviously going for that. They're flying over it, but I'm not sure if they'll land on top of it. 0 Degrees taking their spot in Ruins. Surprisingly, Painan is pretty much empty. Okay, I did not expect that at all. 7 Cs in Camp Alpha. They're going to be safe and nice. Meanwhile, Orange Rock is going for a really safe approach. They're spreading out across a bunch of different compounds, but not really taking any big areas for themselves.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Like, Orange Rock clearly wants to defend.
Umamba, that could be a bit of a concern.
I don't
Even
think
Team
so.
Aim as
I think Orange Rock kind of know what they're doing with the split there, but already Team Genocide has XDD knocked, and we're not really sure what's happening there. So Team Orb looks like they're pushing in. Shots are being fired. Nerf has been knocked by Ash Gamer. It is up to Ayush to now see what he can do. Help Nerf if he can. Noob with the QBU, my bad. Same 5.56 ammo. Now let's see what Team Genocide does here, as they do have to res XDD really quickly, or they're going to let him bleed out. And I guess they're going to have to... Oh, nope. XDD is dead. Team Genocide pushing in. Oh, Daljit also in the mix.
but the UZ firing over, there's a lot of advantage he can get himself if he stays on top over here, and he secured it. He destroys Kiki up on top, and now he has a great read as to what the other teams can do. Meanwhile, the fight between Genocide and Orb continues to rage on. Ash Gamer has spotted Tsunami with the M16, has a 4-scope, which can be a great weapon in a situation like this. A definite advantage over Tsunami with just a hollow sight. And he doesn't have any backup as well. All these teams splitting open wide.
Yeah,
I'm
I didn't
pretty
expect...
sure Tsunami...
I did expect these kind of skirmishes so early in the game, and unfortunately, Sandhawk's the kind of map that just forces everybody together. Ash Gamer with his 4x needs to get an angle on somebody, because Critical and his teammate are not looking so hot. And we're back to Team Orb, who've already lost Nerf phase, and Orange Rock taking a couple of shots at Team 14 Umamba. They already managed to do some pretty decent damage to them.
Definitely.
How many players is Team Umamba down? 2 players?
I definitely saw one of the players die to the hands of Mavi. Not sure if the second one is dead as well. But Orange Rock, I like the way they are spreading out all across the northeastern island. They... Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
They approach boot camp too.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what
I
went
paused
there.
for a second right there.
Yeah, I was
Because
a little like surprised. Like, hey, wait, what's happening here? Hey, maybe the pros know certain things that the noob casters don't know. You know, like, I mean, are you a pro player, Crips? Do you know everything that the pros do these days?
I mean, I was a conqueror in Season 4, so I guess I have some credibility. But it seems like they want to swim all their way towards boot camp. Now, Orange Rock, the good thing that they did was they drove Umamba out of their island, and they had pretty much a lot of information all across the northeastern part. Now they're swimming towards boot camp so that they can get some extra information as well. Meanwhile, on our screen, Cells is all alone. His teammates quite far spread apart, and they are also towards the bank of the rivers, which means they should be able to take a look at the other islands. Power is on their screens. I don't think they will spot them anytime soon. But this position definitely can grant them an advantage, especially over those teams who will now be looking to rotate out of Paradise Resort.
Yeah, it looks like they have a pretty good hand handle of what they're trying to do here. They're just playing for reconnaissance, playing for intel. I don't think Cells is going to commit to a fight even if they spot somebody. They probably, their team comms are just like, hey, we've got a guy over there or we've got a team over there, and then they'll take a call. And I've seen a lot of pro teams do that, where they don't play a rush game. They just make sure that they have all the intel. And despite the fact that Sanhok is a small map, intel in Sanhok is definitely very, very good. We've got Orange Rock right in front of a... Oh my god, look at that. Look at that loot. We've got an AWM, level 3 helmet vest, and level 3 backpack. It's like it's Orange Rock's day today. They're just getting lucky game after game. Back to you, Crips.
But surprisingly, they're not going for it. They want to use this as a bait. They're hoping that somebody else comes in and tries to take it so that they don't just get the loot, they also get the points on top of it. I mean, it's not like they're lacking in points at all. But hey, you can always be more hungry. Surprisingly, they don't have a lot of good loot just yet. You see Daljit, he doesn't even have any armor. Not even basic level 1. Meanwhile, Team Els might just spot Zeus right there. I think Duke has an idea about Zeus's positions. He's trying to just check if there are any other teammates of Team AIM nearby. Because if there aren't, then Zeus is in clear and definite danger. He needs to get out here without being detected. And it seems like he will just manage to slip past them.
Wasn't Zeus the guy last game who fell down the cliff in an angle? Yeah, this guy's luck is not good. Like, I like how the observers are showing us the really lucky players versus the really unlucky players. This is not looking good for Team AIM Gaming. Oh, is Team Elves taking shots at him? Nope. They're just tracking him. They're looking. Look at that. That is triggered discipline, ladies and gentlemen. And not for long, as they spray him down. Beautiful, but unfortunately not effective.
He's gonna get away, and he has a nice big cliff to hide behind. Looks like Els missed that chance to secure a nice free kill. I can understand why they didn't take any of those shots. They probably wanted to gather more information about where his teammates are and then engage them all at once or engage them with more information. But now, if they don't realize that he was all alone, it seems like they will be disappointed after not getting a free kill. Meanwhile, Orange Rock, they were spreading out quite a bit before, and we also saw them trying to drown their own bike into the water, but it seems like they have now grouped up back again. And even Zeus seems like he is far, far away from Team Elves at this point, who are now pursuing him towards the other edge of the hill. We did see Yumumba also. When the minimap popped up for like one brief second, they have also gathered up once again and are on the completely other side of the northeastern island, far, far away from Orb. They don't want to lose any of their players.
I like how all teams are still pretty much in the game. We've got 16 on the scoreboard on the top left-hand corner. Hopefully we can segue into a little map view so that we can understand exactly where which team is. Zeus has also successfully rotated to his teammates, but Orb just got a nice package from the PUBG gods themselves. And as that plume of red smoke erupts, hopefully Orb will spot it quickly enough and we'll get an idea of what loot they'll get. They don't have the greatest loot either, speaking of loot. Ayush with the level 1 vest and helmet right there.
And only one first aid kit in the backpack. Another AWM up for grabs. It seems like Orb don't want to take any risks as they are pretty sure that somebody or the other will come contesting this. And Team Orb are going to get this package right at the edges of the ruins and the bridge, which means Team Elves are about to... Oh, no, wait. Okay. Team Elves are engaging with Team AIM over there on a completely different part of the map, which is great. But Revenge are now converging upon Orb to take fight on the control of that airdrop.
Yeah, it looks like it is a fight between Team AIM Gaming and Elves. Let's see what happens here. Meanwhile, Orb not really entertaining that drop as Team 17 Revenge Esports circles dangerously close. And Elves now going for the push because they had the one knock right there and the one knock, one push philosophy. Ip Man trying to third person peek right here. He cooks his molly, doesn't do much with it. Duke with Team Elves getting stuck on the window right there. This is very interesting. Let's see how this pans out for both these teams. Ip Man just making it out with the skin of his teeth. He's gonna have to first aid as Team Elves cook their nades. Let's see if they manage to get anybody. The nades fly, but no damage to anybody. We've got Team Gaming 4 players and Team Elves 4 players. Let's see how it works. Nades being thrown all over the place.
This is a bit of a concern. Matt, if you just saw, is taking the long way around and he's trying to flank Team AIM from the other side. I'm not sure if AIM will be able to see this coming, but if Matt is able to get to this position quickly enough, he might just be able to allow his Team Elves to get out of that house. In this entire compound of 3 houses, all of Team Elves is inside one, which means if you get one lucky nade in there, you might just be able to blow up the entire team. And Team AIM should definitely be able to surround them from all the sides. The routes of getting out of this compound are getting cut off one by one. Matt is still far away. I'm not sure if he wants to come ahead and help his team out. But as I say that, 0 Degrees are coming into third party on this. And Pan Singh once again has a lot of trigger discipline. He spotted out plenty of players from Team Elves, but he's not taking the fight. And now he finally does connect the shot. And Avi hits the floor. He's going to secure the kill onto him as well. Elves are down 2 players.
Do not mess with Pan Singh, ladies and gentlemen. I love how he just went for that instant thirst. I mean, you know, these guys, 0 Degree, are like, hey man, we've got our kill. Let's move out of here. I love the opportunistic skirmish that they just took here. They were just like, hey, we don't need to commit to this fight. And it looks like Team 16, Team Tamil in the house versus Team Genocide. Let's see what happens with Team Tamil pushing in. But unfortunately, oh no, they lose Raven. The crowd is not going to be very happy with this. And bullets keep firing as Ash Gamer tries to third-person peek. The rest of Tamil Gaming, X-Riddick 07, knocked and bleeding out pretty fast. Team Genocide really needs to take care of this as quickly as possible. They need to push and get a couple of knocks. And they are going to push. Nope, just trading. Noob going in to get Critic 07 healed up. We still have a 3v3 going on screen. Crips?
Luckily, Ash Gamer is keeping the other players of Team Raven at bay as Noob tries to get the revive onto his teammate. As long as he's able to get the revive, and he does manage to do it successfully, Critic has more than enough time to heal himself up and get prepared for another battle. Molotovs being deployed so that Manti can't get any shots inside the house. And even though he does spot them out, he cannot enter the house physically to finish them off, granting them a bit more time to gather up their resources and prepare themselves for the second round of this fight. Both the teams taking a brief hiatus so that they can heal themselves up. And once again, the battle will continue as they decide to re-engage. Manti going around the house, hoping that he will be able to spot them out. No, wait! He's completely walking away from this fight. It seems like they want to disengage. They do not want to waste any more resources into this one.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. If you just look at the circle, everybody on the map just got circle screwed right here. And they all have to rotate all the way to the northeast section of the map. With RIP squad chilling in Paradise Resort. Looks like they are the new lucky team. Team Genocide also, it's a good thing that the Tamil team did decide to disengage because they did lose one of their better players. And it just didn't make sense to commit to such a fight outside in the open. Oh, but Team Genocide taking a couple of pot shots at these guys. Oh, they are not ready to let them go. And Team 11, Orbelitz also in view of Team 16, Team Tamil. Shots are being fired. Crips, what is happening here?
This is a mess as all the teams scramble for cover. A lot of teams in this vicinity at the edges of Quarry, which means the way into the circle is not pretty. There's open hills, and that's when the danger lurks around the corners. We did see the minimap, and surprisingly, there's one thing I would like to point out, but I'm going to wait until Raven finishes off Critic. They did manage to get the knock onto Critic once again. He was the man who his team was trying to save, but once again, he's in danger. And I don't think this time Noob will be able to get the revive onto him as he's trapped. And the way towards him is not safe. Meanwhile, Manti starts getting shot from Team Orb. He realizes that Orb wants a third party and he turns around and manages to fight them. Team Genocide are being kept at bay as Critic finally dies after bleeding out. No teammate able to revive him, but Mantu surprisingly ducking, dodging, and weaving undercover. Orb also realizing that they can't commit to this fight for too long, try to make their way into the circle, but Raven have new contenders. This time, Genocide, with the last two remaining players, are just trying to take down Raven players as they know that they will be knocked out for certain. He manages to get 2 knocks, Ash Gamer with perfect aim control. This man is an absolute beast, and now he's going to be gatekeeping Raven as they try to desperately zone, but he will not allow that to happen. Striker has a lot of work to do and a lot of teammates to revive. And on top of that, he needs to make his way into the circle and fight Team Genocide on the way in.
Gatekeeping, indeed. I love the way he played. Ash Gamer doing a lot of damage to Team Tamil as they have to lick their wounds right outside that blue zone right there. No, sorry, they are in the blue zone. This is not looking good for any of these teams as they all rush to rotate in the circle. Then look at 0 Degree and RIP squad getting ready for the fight for Paradise. Lost, I want to say. Let's see how it goes with 0 Degree and RIP squad, because the team that controls Paradise is going to be in a very decent position for the next couple of circles. Team Alice also managing to survive somehow at the edge of the circle along with Team Aim Gaming and Cells. Here we go. We've got 0 Degree starting the fight right here. They're on the northwest side of Paradise, and all they have to do is find a way to either hold this hill or maybe take Paradise for themselves. What do you think they'll do, Crips?
In order to keep their men alive for the later stages of the fight, I think they wouldn't be too sad if they don't get the control of Paradise Resort entirely. They should be pretty happy on this hill. Meanwhile, we did see Umumba, who lost a lot of their players at the start of the game. Now they have one of the best positions in the entire map. At the north end of the circle, they are completely safe. The only danger that lurks around is Team Orange Rocks, which probably won't have to deal with them since they have bigger issues. Meanwhile, if you look at Team Raven, they're still in the blue zone. They're just hoping that they can heal each other off and stay outside of danger for as long as possible. Meanwhile, 7 Seas takes the fight with Cells, and they are hitting the floor.
Oh, this is not looking good for Team Cells as they take a lot of damage. 7 Seas also desperately trying to rotate in the circle. Viewers do notice that the circle has shifted a little bit to the top right-hand corner of Paradise Resort. And 0 Degree rushing to get into safety. 7 Seas and Cells fighting it out. This is not looking good for 7 Seas. I have to say, Team Cells is a team that I'm not familiar with, and I'm pretty impressed with the way they've been performing so far. Your thoughts, Crips?
Trigger, I'm actually worried about this man. He has the most powerful weapon in the game, but he's not taking the fights. I think he's on top of the hill so that he can pick off the remaining players of 7C, pick off the remaining players of the team that he just spotted who are already engaged in a fight. Meanwhile, we just saw one of the players from Team 0 Degrees take a knock, and it seems like Team IE is about to come up and fight with them. Cells, they are desperately trying to stay alive in the blue zone with some 7C's players all around them. Meanwhile, Revenge are also in the fray. Atanki has been spotted. Tsunami wants to take this fight, and he gets the shot. He knocks him down and manages to finish him off as well. One clean kill in his favor. Team AIM also taking one of the players of Revenge out of the fight as Team Genocide once again. They are in the fights. How is this happening? All the teams are starting to take multiple fights, and this might just end up not working out for any of them as they take too much damage and they bite off more than they can chew. Venom?
Yeah, this has not been a great fight for these 3-4 teams as they've been fighting outside the circle, and the rotation is going to definitely hurt them as they deplete all their heals. But it looks like Team Orb is still pretty much in the game, and hopefully they'll be able to make it into the safe zone. We've got Team Insane also comfortably in the safe zone along with 0 Degree. And let's see what happens here as all these teams sort of shack up and take pot shots at each other.
Two of the players of Zero Degrees are sharing the same compound as Team Insane, and that makes me a bit uncomfortable. AIM is far away from them, which means they won't be able to take the fights, but as Zero Degrees tries to push into the other spot, Team IE, they take the chance. They get the knock as well. Surya is down, and he will be finished off by Aditya. The dude, the last remaining survivor for Team Zero Degrees, now has to play for survival points. Once again, the circle shifts, and Team Power seem to be the one in control. The dude, the house he's in is the only house that is in the zone, so that means Team Insane are gonna have to push towards him. And at the same time, he's sandwiched in between Team Insane and Team IE. Meanwhile, AIM have no opponents next to them whatsoever. I have to point out, Rip and 7 Degrees, they need to kill each other off because they won't allow any of them to go towards the safe zone before they do not finish off their opponents. Zigsaw and Trigger at the edges of Paradise Resort. They know for a fact that Rip are somewhere inside, but who will take the fights first? Oop, there goes the boss. Hits the floor. Strip squad finish him off. Aditya also gets down. But while I say that, Karan has a clean view of sight onto Zigsaw. He's going to get the knock. And Trigger weaving around. He's trying to get the shots onto him. But the TPP is not allowing him to do so. He will get third-partied by squad Raptor. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce his name there for a second. And while I say that, Naruto somehow manages to find the time to revive his teammate. It seems like 7Cs will be hitting the floor as most of the players are out. Insane desperately lose one of their players against Sky. Even he's down, and Legend too. Naruto, he tries to save his teammate, but both of them end up walking into the crosshairs of the dude, and he ends up wiping out Team Insane all by himself, securing so many points. Rohin, this was an absolute blunder. Dude was not supposed to survive for even one bit, but he managed to walk away with so many kills.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy for the dude and Zero Degree. Let's hope that he can actually stay alive, but looks like AIM does know that he is shacked up in that outhouse, and they are going to peek. And they're going to pre-fire, but the dude gets him! Zeus gets knocked, and Zeus gets aggroed. Oh my god, oh my god. The dude is on fire.
Quite literally. I'm surprised that none of the teams have actually used any grenades to flush him out, and they just keep feeding kills to him. He's gonna be one happy man by the time this game ends. Meanwhile, speaking of happy men, Music just killed one of the players of Team Umumba, and now they are in trouble. Bhishma knocked. Meanwhile, at the same time, JSL are also trying to get a couple of kills. All the teams have lost a few players. Meanwhile, IXC, Fury, and Muses, they have surrounded Team JSL from both the directions. Robin trying to revive his teammates, but while I say that, Daljeet finds one of the players of Umumba. Goldblade hits the floor. They are at the edge of the circle, and they have no contestants over here. They can safely make their way and try to take the fights at their own terms. Mavi and Daljeet, two of the strongest players of the country. I'm not even going to say Orange Rock. The two strongest players of the country still alive for their team. And nobody has spotted them, which means they can...
No, Mavi just gets knocked. Unfortunately, as you just said that, Mavi just got knocked and thirsted by Team Power, full power Podo. And here we go, we're back in the fray again with JSL spraying down Team 18 initiative. Oh man, this is such a beautiful, beautiful circle.
Daljeet in a lot of trouble healing away outside the zone. Meanwhile, Power, they now have the best position in the entire game. They have no idea whatsoever that Daljeet is right behind them in the blue. He's sticking away, but he doesn't have any more first aid kits. This is his cue to get into the circle, but before he does that, he's gonna take down Zonebam. Not gonna be able to do any more damage. Just gets one knock, and now we are down to the final 5 teams. Power towards the top of the hills. They're going to have all the advantage, as they should have the high ground. Meanwhile, Team 15, Team Rip Squad are using the smokes for cover. Everyone now should be able to get a little bit of a break so that they can heal up and prepare for the last phase of the circle.
Meanwhile, the chat is furious that we jinxed it for Orange Rock, as Team Power, or Full Power as they call themselves, checked their privilege. Here we go, we've got Team 19 snaking it all up, and that's all. That's what Sanhok is about. The last circle is all about getting into that juicy grass. Shots being fired from GSL as Power keeping that trigger discipline. And here we go, boys. GSL spraying all over the place. Robin God not getting a single hit marker on the screen. It's between JSL and Power right now. And Rip Squad is finally out of the game at 5th place.
Revenge was the team that knocked them out. and we are now down to 4. But the best thing over here is even though Power Gaming have all 4 of the players alive, oh, Kobe, they accidentally end up nading themselves. That's a mistake that they can't afford to make in such a late stage of this game. They had all 4 players alive, but now that's not the case anymore. GSL wants to take this chance and finish them off. Surya connects a lot of shots, and he does quite a lot of damage. He will be finished off by another nade, and Surya ends up getting a double kill. He's single-handedly wiping Team Power, and this is a disaster. Even after having everything in their favor, JSL are making a comeback, and now they are out. 3 teams remain, and the strongest contenders have just been knocked out of the game. How on earth did this happen, Rohin?
Surya OP living up to his name, Surya Space OP. Looks like this is going to be a very interesting fight for JSL as they try to maybe come out on top, and this will help them in the leaderboards. It is the quest for first place, second place, and third place. Here we've got Team JSL, Team 17, Revenge Esports, and of course the lone Team 8, Aim Gaming. Rocky taking care of Robin God.
Yeah,
Oh
but now
my
he's
God.
given away his position. It was a 2 versus 2 versus 1. Rocky was the one who was hiding away, but he will be traded by Surya. Now, this is the perfect chance for Revenge to push. They know that one of the teammates is knocked. They know exactly where Surya is. He's on the edges of the circle, and Aim will finish him off. Team Aim win the chicken dinner. The least likely contestants to win the entire game. They somehow make it work, and Revenge
Wait,
with the chicken dinner make a
are you-
massive comeback.
I think you said the wrong thing, Cribs. I'm gonna have to stop you there.
Yeah.
Team Aim came third. And we'll just look at the
Revenge
scoreboard
won.
just again. Yeah. We're
Revenge
so
won, so
sorry.
actually came out on
We're
top.
so sorry. We messed that up. But yeah. It looks like Revenge came first. And GG Revenge. Exactly. That was quite an interesting game, and I'm quite happy that Full Power actually showed us some action towards the end of that circle. What do you think, Crips?
I'm actually so happy that they were able to upset one of the best teams that was likely to win this game. I'm so surprised how JSL were able to take care of Team Full Power all by themselves. It all started with one mistake. Full Power accidentally naded one of their own players. I think his nade exploded in his own hand as he was trying to cook it, but he did not get the timing right, and that was one player down. And as they tried to revive their last remaining, the one player that made the mistake, it was all chaos, and JSL took that chance. Surya with some amazing shots. He was able to secure so many kills for his own team.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the people in chat, yes, Team Tamil did get knocked out pretty early on in the game, and we did see some pretty decent gameplay from the dude. I'm gonna have to highlight his gameplay right there. Sitting in the shack, getting a couple of spray downs, getting a couple of thirsts. I gotta say, the dude living up to his name. And not only that, Surya OP with that beautiful spray down. Yes, props to him as well. We saw some pretty decent kills, and we'll be queuing up the highlights in just a bit. But don't go anywhere because we have 2 other games remaining. We have Miramar, I believe, next, and then we have Vikendi. Yes. And thank you so much for watching the stream, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit that like button. Do subscribe for more trash English, more English PMCO casting from Crips and PC Peasants. That's me.
That's a good way to I mean, self-depreciating humor is the best kind of humor.
Hey man, you got the last 3 guys wrong.
Well, that's what happens, right? It happens so soon.
Yeah.
Revenge, they had the chance when they realized that one of the players of their opponent team is knocked, and they took it. They grabbed it.
Alright guys, see you later. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back to round 3, Miramar of the PMCO 2020 Spring Split. I have Crips with me. Hello, Crips.
Hello there, Rohan. I'm having a great time today, and I hope you guys are too. Game number 2 has just ended. We are now about to start the third game on the desert map Miramar. Let's take a look at the standings for the second game. We had Revenge Esports, and I was right. It was Revenge who won the game with 20 points. Sometimes the game can be a bit buggy, but my knowledge is not. So I take back my apology, which I just did a few minutes ago. 20 points to Revenge Esports, who surprisingly don't have the highest amount of kills. It was JSLX who were able to wipe out full power, and that's how they had a lot of kills. They had 8 kills, and that's how they got 22.
I'm going to have to just cut you in there. JSLX with 8 kills, making them the top fraggers for that round over there.
Yes.
And then we've got Aim Gaming coming in at 3rd place with 6 kills. It looks like these teams really know how to perform really well. Unfortunately, we're taking too long to describe the standings. So we have Team Genocide coming in 9th place at with 1 placement point with 6 kills. Team Genocide getting into those fights, doing a good job. Team Orb Elites at 10th place with 4 kills. And of course, those of you asking, Team Tamil coming in at 11th place with 3 kills. It's not looking good for Team Elves and Elites. And 7 Season Cells also haven't been performing of late. Umamba got knocked out pretty early out, and it's really sad. Let's hope that these teams at the end of the standings can actually make it back in match 3 and match 4.
Yes, and even if they cannot do so, they can't lose all hope just yet, because these group stage qualifiers will go on all week, and they have plenty of time to bounce back. But that doesn't mean that the other teams can't keep racking up more points, so they need to get online fast. We did see Team Elves try to get away from the crosses of Team Orb, but that Trigger Discipline actually did not end up getting them any kills, which could have granted them 1 more point, which isn't really that big, but still, it's something better than nothing. Either way, after these standings of Game 2 are over, we probably will be seeing the standings overall. And I think Team Orb still have a pretty good lead. I'm sorry, not Team Orb. Team Orange Rock still have a pretty good lead on everyone.
Yeah, and I think Team Orange Rock are the fan favorites here. And looks like everybody's just waiting for them to win this 4-match day. And yeah, we're looking at the Hindi desk with Ketan and Krat. And look at how comfortable they are in their fancy desk. How are you doing, Crips?
Well, I'm sitting on my not-so-fancy computer desk in the comfort of my home in Mumbai. This PMCO Indian qualifiers really captures the essence of the deeply entrenched game in this company. We have PC Peasants sitting in Chennai. I'm sitting here in Mumbai, and we are looking at Ketan and Krat, who are sitting in Delhi in the Nordwind Gaming Studios right now, who are also doing the Hindi desk at the same time. And while we pretend to voice them, we really just have to appreciate the amount of work that this game has done to this country. It's brought all these gamers together from different parts, and that is why we are able to see this beautiful tournament called PUBG Mobile Club Open.
Indeed. And now we do have the plane path is directly right between the dissecting the map, and Team Revenge Esports already jumping out, hopefully going for Campo. This is a map that relies on long distance fights and skirmishes. So any bets on teams which will do really well, other than of course Orange Rock, which seems to be everyone's favorite?
I think Team Insane do have a lot of potential. They have some really good snipers and aimers, so I'm hoping that they would be one of the teams that show us what real fragging firepower looks like. Also, I think 7Cs might just find a chance to bounce back in this game, because they seem to be heading towards La Cuberia, where they will be fighting Team Orb Elites right off the bat. So it's 2 of the teams who are currently at the bottom of the table who have opportunities to eliminate each other right off the bat. Meanwhile, Los Leones is surprisingly unpopulated. Humumba taking a safe approach and heading towards El Pozo. I don't think they'll be able to make it, but they can parachute glide their way towards that city. It's going to take a bit of time. Revenge taking the cars and still heading towards Campo Militar. Meanwhile, Orange Rock is surprisingly split apart and they have quite a lot of distance between all their players. It seems like they want to capture vehicles first and then head over towards one of the places. The circle, though, it is leading heavily towards the south, and not a lot of teams are in the circle right now. So we will see San Martin and Junkyard become a graveyard of bodies as most of the teams come crashing into the northern edge of the circle. Ruin?
Yeah, whatever you said. I think you pretty much covered everything that needs to be said right here. We've got a lot of good teams in good positions right now. We've got Zero Degree, we've got Team Power, and we've got Team Genocide all safely within the circle. I love this horse skin, by the way. This is such a beautiful skin. Yeah, and this is Team 16 for those of you who have been supporting Team Tamil and coming to our streams. This is the team that everybody's been clamoring for. Clearly a crowd favorite amongst the viewers. And then we've got GSL, the second place winners from the last game. Not too far away. If I'm not mistaken, this is Chumacera. Hopefully we'll get to see some action here.
Well, I had one question for you. Raven TT, I mean, TT stands for Team Tamil, but what's Raven? Is it their sponsor? Is it some organization that's backing them? I'm just
I think so.
curious
I think there is an org in Tamil Nadu called Raven Esports, and that must be the team esports org that's sort of backing them. And Team Tamilas is Tamilas for the Tamilians in the house. Yeah, that's the name of their team. So they've done it Raven TT, and yeah, let's hopefully see some good action from them. Yeah, moving up to the map, we've got a pretty spread out map right there. I mean, Revenge is gonna have to rotate quite a bit from Campo, and slowly Orange Rock is making their way to the edge of the circle. How do you think this is going to play out, Crips?
Towards the edge of the circle, I think Orange Rock will once again go for the split approach, where they will have their players positioned like CCTVs, cameras all across the edge. I'm actually surprised none of the teams want to take control of San Martin right off the bat, which will turn into one of the hot zones because it's one of the only places where there is plenty of cover. Hacendia del Patron, nobody has taken control of it once again as two of the hottest territories. I think Daljit might be heading towards Hacendia anytime soon. But if we look at Los Leones, where the real meat of the action is, we have Zero Degree, Team Full Power, and Team Genocide in this same city. Now, Los Leones, the biggest city in Miramar, it's gonna take a bit of time before these teams finally realize they're within spitting distance of each other. But once they do, that's when the real action begins. As we see on the side screen, Zero Degree are spread out quite a bit. And Power, it seems like from Power, Mogambo will be the first point of contact. Pan Singh in a vehicle is going to be loud and announcing his position up into the world. He might just be the spearhead of his team who will make first contact with Mogambo as they all move in towards the same warehouse. Yep. And the only way, the only perfect way actually to make up for it is by completely eliminating Zero Degrees, who are also one of the strongest teams in the mix. So if they can get rid of Zero Degrees right off the start, it seems like they're going to have themselves a pretty good time because they will have a lot of points and a major contender will now be out of the game. Meanwhile, I think 0 Degrees are heading towards the edges of Los Leones. They seem to be satisfied with the amount of loot they have, and they want to set up a gatekeeper approach where they just stop every other team from either leaving the city or, in this case, entering the city, because Los Leones is smack in the center. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of teams go for early rotations and try to enter this place right now. The storm, 2 minutes. It's a exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking of betting the money, I would bet my money on Atanki. He has 2 med kits, which are incredibly rare to find, and pretty good control over the vehicles as well. I think so. Here's the thing that I've noticed in all the games that I've casted, especially in maps like Miramar. Having control of vehicles is equally important, because once the circle does screw you over, you can't just go on foot. You need to have control of those vehicles, especially in open spaces. You need to build fortresses out of them, and that's why you will see a lot of teams take this approach of having all 4 players in different vehicles, and they have 4 vehicles. Even though you can't fight while you're in there, you might just be able to walk away from those fights and get yourself a little bit of advantage towards the later end of the game.
We do apologize. I just had a little mic scuffle and none of my audio was getting picked up, and it's back again. Thank you so much for the feedback. Yeah, speaking of which, you Mamba, I mean, the guys we have on screen right now, they haven't had the greatest couple of games. They've been consistently coming in the bottom 10 category. Like, what's happening with them?
Well, Yumumba is one of the most prestigious organizations in the country. If you didn't know that Yumumba already have a Dota 2 and a CSGO roster as well, you do now. And now that they venture into PUBG Mobile, they are enabling few more youngsters to show off their talents by supporting them, which is really beneficial for the esports scene in the country as a whole. And if you just look at the bottom screen, John and Orange Rock, they have a nice little collection of red cars right there. It seems like they've parked them in a very aesthetic way as well, almost like they're salesmen and trying to sell those cars. I mean, the way they parked, it was so beautiful. It was perfect parking. I mean,
Popping?
a lot of people can learn from it.
Popping? Sorry. I'm just messing with you, Chris.
I know. You do that quite often.
Especially on
Way too
live
often for my
streams.
comfort.
All right, we've got team Team
Yeah,
Tamil.
we have history of those.
We've got Team Tamil here and Team Genocide. Still haven't met each other in a proper firefight. Come on, guys, entertain us. What is this?
I think the entertainment's about to start now. DD threw that smoke, and that's going to be a dead giveaway about his position. But seems like Team Tamil don't want to engage just yet, as they're still in their cars and hunting for the guy who threw that smoke. They won't be finding him anytime, but they do find a couple of compounds that they can take care of. Obviously, towards the southern end of Miramar, the grass becomes more prominent, and it's not that big of a desert. So there's more cover over here towards this side of the map as there is in the northern parts. And since the circle is also moving south, I guess the teams don't have to be that worried about getting caught in the open with nowhere to hide. I guess that's a little bit of relief.
Well, getting caught in the open in Miramar is never a good thing as well, because this is Sniper Central right here. And this is a map where, unfortunately, we do not have the Winchester 8x PUBG PC thing going on. But at least in PUBG Mobile, you know, the snipers tend to rule Miramar, and Daljit is one of those snipers from Orange Rock that I would not want to mess with in Miramar. We did see him, in fact, perform quite beautifully in the PUBG Mobile All-Stars. Do you remember that?
Of course I do. How can you forget something like that? That guy was an absolute beast. And speaking of beast moments, did we just witness a drive-by?
Yeah, I think we did.
Players of Team 9 just drove past Team Insane, and Insane did not act at all. They did not even fire a single shot. They just let him pass. But while I say that, Mavi has clear line of sight onto Duke. And even though he's firing right now, he probably won't be able to connect any shots, but that doesn't really matter.
Mavi is Mavi, you know. Mavi, actually, I have to say, viewing, spectating, observing Mavi has been a treat these last couple of games.
Yes,
we've got an MK14, of course, in the drop zone, in the airdrop, and hopefully, like, some lucky team will get their hands on it. But yeah, I gotta say, Mavi is one of those players that I'm really enjoying watching. Not too familiar with his gameplay, to be frank, but in the last couple of matches, it's very clear. It's clear as day that he's one of those players that you definitely want to learn something from if you are eyeing those PMCO standings.
Speaking of eyeing the PMCO standings, keep your eyes on the circle as it shrinks towards the southwestern part. Puerto Rico, the only city, it's not even a city, it's like one very small village with a dockyard. It's the only thing in place. Luckily, this part of the map does have a lot of grass and a lot of trees as well, so you can play around it. And it also has the cliffs of the eastern side of Los Leones in the zone, so you can play around those as well. A lot of teams might just enter Los Leones and then try to, you know, make their way into the circle from there.
Sure.
And that's going to be a safe approach.
Right.
But speaking of safe, it's not something that Revenge are looking into, as they might just walk into Team Orange Rock, who have the high ground advantage on top of them.
Finally we get to actually see some action. We get to see Daljit already getting that spray down on Akshay. What a beautiful spray down with his red dot Scarrel situation going. He's also managed to get another knock. Anto trying to get into the fight, and Daljit knocking, finishing grade. Anto finishing Akshay. My god, these observers are faster than I am. We've got Daljit trying to get better position on that last two players. Trilo getting sprayed down. Oh, it's not looking good for him as he jumps out, and Trilok is thirsted. Sonic, where are you, Sonic? As Sonic manages to skip away. We now are looking at 0 Degree entering the fray. Let's see how this pans out for them. We've got so many teams next to each other. Oh, I'm so sorry. Crips, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, Orange Rock are about to face 0 Degrees. This is going to be a clash of the titans as the two top teams of the tournament are about to have a go at each other. Sonic, the last remaining member of Team Revenge, does manage to get one kill, but how much can he possibly do? He has to play for placement points over here. But if you look at the positions of Orange Rock, they are so far spread apart. Mami is on a completely different hill, far away from his team, who have knocked one player down.
Oh, this is not looking good for Sonic.
And he desperately needs to get to cover. He finally finds a little dark spot where he should be able to heal up, but he's cornered over here. And there are other players also around him.
Okay, looks like Sonic is trying to get some kills in. He's not in a very good position. And Pansing knocking Daljit from Orange Rock. Oh my god. Anto finishing off Sonic. That's the end of Revenge Esports. We've got Surya knocking John, and then GSL in the midst, getting a knock on a 7Cs player whose name I missed. Sorry. We've got 0 Degree, all 4 people right here, trying to get an angle on Orange Rock. They did manage to get Daljit, I believe, and it's just Mavi and Anto left. This is not a good loss for Orange Rock.
Definitely not. At one point, I thought Orange Rock will have an advantage because they were spread apart on 2 different hills, which means the valley in between those two, which is the only slope which is not that steep, where you can drive. That's the only entrance towards those little 2 hills, and they have been both covered, which means they should have had the advantage. But because of spreading apart, the same thing that should have given them the advantage ends up being the thing that does not work out for them.
Alright, we got the
They're booming through
circle.
the
Oh, we just missed it, unfortunately. Let's try to actually talk about the circle when our beautiful observers share us the circle. And here we go, another gift from the PUBG gods, an MK14 and a couple of level 3 vests. JSL Glaive bites the dust, and the play zone takes out Team Orb member Tsunami. It is Mavi and Anto versus the entire squad, and shots are being fired. Mavi trying to get an angle on the 0 degree players, Marcos Gaming. Let's see what Mavi does here. Come on, Mavi. We believe in you, Mavi. And the dude takes a chunk of health off, and oh my god, Mavi almost knocks him. The dude sort of surviving by the 1 HP that he was clinging onto. And now we have Team Cells. We have Team Cells and Team Elves on the team here, on the screen here. And let's hope that we see some action from here as well.
Speaking of action, this is the only close quarter fights that we have seen so far. Everything else was just a flurry of sniper fights with multiple teams trying to get angles on each other and hoping that they get away with getting shot. Cells, they also have sight on Team Full Power, and Elves, they finally decide to strike. Red getting peppered with bullets, and Poto also trying to land a couple, but Cells do not want to take any part of this. They are just backing away from this fight, and they blew up a car. That means one of the players is on foot. He needs to get picked up by MJ, who is desperately low on health. Their car also about to blow up. That means their escape routes are getting shut down one by one.
What did the cars ever do to you guys, man? Come on. Leave the cars alone. We've got Team Elves and Team Cells trying to square off with each other, and Team well, God damn it. What are their names again, Crips? TGE?
Genocide?
Genocide. There we go. There we go. We've got Team Genocide and Team RIP and Team Umamba all within shooting distance of each other. I don't know. I'm not really sure what Noob's trying to do here, as he slowly makes his way towards Umamba. In meanwhile, we have Team Tamil.
I think Team Tamil are the only ones who have some sort of a safe spot, and they're just observing all the fights before they decide to engage in the ones they actually need to get into. Meanwhile, speaking of getting into fights, Genocide are really far spread apart. They can surround their opponents from every direction, but Cells need to be careful because they might have just bitten off more than they can chew. They're in the middle of so many teams, and now finally we have the circle. It seems like we won't be repeating the mistake and talk about it for once.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good circle. Everybody's in there in the safe zone, and the circle just about screwed everybody except for Team 18 Initiative and Team Insane. All four alive. They're pushing Team Tamil. They spray down Striker. They thirst him. They're like not letting Team Tamil get out of this situation. It's up to Carry OP to bring Team Tamil back into the fray. We've got Rip Squad and Umamba also in a fight with each other. Somebody needs to help Destro. Oh, nope, never mind. Rip Squad nades Destro. And this is not looking good for Rahul, as he gets knocked by a vehicle and then gets thirsted by Bhimsha. Sorry. We're just butchering all your names left, right, and center. We're so sorry. Crips.
I mean, at least that's better than these teams butchering each other as they desperately try to cling for dear life. Umumba have one little cliff that they can take cover of, but they have Rip Squad on one side and 0 Degree on the other. Luckily for them, 0 Degree is already busy engaging other teams, so they can continue focusing on Rip Squad, who are outside the play zone, and they need they need to cover the distance, which is quite long.
They need to go the distance, Michael Bolton. The Hercules theme song. Never mind. You're too old. You're too young to get that.
References which I don't understand, but what I do understand for sure over here is that Insane have to take care of Team IE right the hell now. Otherwise, they will be left in a very awkward situation. At the southern edge of the circle has multiple teams fighting for cover. Elves are surprisingly in the safe because Umumba and Team Tamils are the ones who are fighting each other now. 0 Degree also trying to get a piece of the action. They're trying to get kills as much as they can, but they don't have to worry about much right now. The circle shifts and Aim is the one who has a lot of advantage. But as soon as I say that, Insane knocks Aditya out. The smokes should be enough to allow him to revive his teammates, but how long can he stay in there? Only 30 seconds left, and they have a long distance to cover. All the teams need to move right now.
Yeah, and it looks like Team Elves is just chilling outside the circle and they're just healing up. Team 18 Initiative really needs to do something about their position, and I really appreciate how Marcos Gaming 0 Degree is just positioning themselves to the circle. They only have to worry about a lone Tamil Gaming player. Aditya getting a nade on Insane Team Legend. Team 18 setting up cover with their vehicles all blown up. All they have to do is pick a couple of angles. What a shot right there. Oh my god. Team 18 Initiative taking the initiative, spraying down Team Insane players left, right and center. And I believe that's Team Insane knocked out of the game.
Yeah, and while all that was happening, AIM also managed to steal a couple of kills. That is so smart. Team AIM is on the complete other end of the circle, which means they don't have to worry about anything, but they still managed to get some kills. Dux, he's trying to land the players from Team IE and of Team Els as well. So 0 Degrees, having all 4 of the players alive, have created a little cover for themselves up on the edges of those cliffs. Meanwhile, Elves have Matt once again playing as a flanker who's trying to get as many kills as he can, but he gets knocked out by Pansing. Their only hope is now down. Elves are in a lot of trouble as multiple teams are firing upon them. They have created a little fortress of broken down cars and smokes, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Finally, Fury from Team IE steps into the action as he does manage to get a knock onto one of the 0 Degrees players. So that's going to allow Elves also to have some time as IE are actually saving them right now, which isn't supposed to happen. This is chaos all over the place.
0 Degree.
One more knock onto 0 Degree. They are taking so much damage. At one point, 0 Degree were the ones who had all 4 players alive, and now they are taking knocks, which is dangerous. Even though they have the high ground, it's not supposed to happen. AIM, engaging in long-distance battles along with Team IE, are not coming out on top as Aditya lands a nice headshot. Manages to knock one more down, and this will allow him to buy some time so that he can get into the play zone. It is coming right behind them, and they need to race against the blue and into the hailstorm of bullets that lies ahead of them. They're using the smokes as cover, but it won't allow them as Fury bites the dust. Elves manage to strike back once again, and they get one more. They finish off Aditya as well. This is haywire. It's going left, right, and center as 0 Degree engage in a 3-way battle along with Team IE and Elves. What is even going on? Who will come out on top? We have no idea because a barrage of smokes are covering a line of sight. Lucifer does manage to get one more from Pansing, but is that all he's going to be able to get? He's prone, and that's going to be the end of it. Team IE just lost one more player. Else taking one more. What? How did Ip Man manage to do that? Even Ducky comes into the fray. All of a sudden, AIM Gaming are third-partying this fight, and they have plenty of cover as well with those trees. 0 Degrees using the smoke, and it's not gonna matter because AIM have exactly all the information they need to win this fight. Elves are somehow holding on. I'm actually surprised how they managed to stay alive. How is this happening, Rohin?
I have no idea what's happening. It's just been a hail of bullets left, right, and center. I gotta say, 0 Degree is in a very good position. Ipman getting some shots in, really doing some damage to 0 Degree as Team Elves needs to figure out how to get into the circle and stay alive. I really love the fact that AIM Gaming is making sure that they're using that vehicle as cover as they res Ducky, I believe. Ipman going for Ducky, and in the smokes we have 0 Degree pushing in. It's going to be an interesting fight right now with Team Elves and 0 Degree and AIM Gaming trying to get the best of each other. Ipman just throwing nades willy-nilly. We've got the dude cooking his nade. Hopefully, can he get this grenade kill? The nade flies and unfortunately doesn't get him the knock that he needs. 0 Degree playing very smart. It's up to Surya and the dude. Oh, and I just jinxed it. AIM Rocky just knocking out the dude, trying to thirst him. This is not looking good for 0 Degree as they're closer to third place, and Rocky puts him in the dust. Surya trying to heal off, but he does not. Oh. And 0 Degree is out of the game. It is now AIM Gaming versus Team Elves 2v3. Here we go. The position for first place. We've not seen both these teams in final circles. Oh, I'm so sorry. We did see AIM Gaming. And now we've got Sniper versus Ip Man. Ip Man going for the wrong rotate and gets knocked. That is horrible. Ducky trying to get the trade. Gets Snippu, but unfortunately, Aim Gaming does not make it. It is Team L's first place, Aim Gaming second place, and third place goes to 0 Degree. What a match, Cribs. Tell me.
What a wonderful performance by Duke. He had 8 kills. That MK14 on the auto-fire is a devastating weapon to have in the final few circles. I actually was rooting for 0 Degrees because at one point they had the high ground advantage as well. But then they got caught by the blue zone and they were getting shut down by Elves, who at that point I can safely say were gatekeeping. It's surprising, right? The team in the smack center of the circle is actually gatekeeping the teams at the edges, which isn't supposed to happen because they had to fight in 2 different directions, 2 different teams at once, yet they were... So a lot of kudos to Aim Gaming right there.
Yeah, props to them. They did use their vehicles pretty well. But I gotta say, when it came to the close quarter combat situation, it looks like Aim Gaming just didn't have what it takes. And it was pretty close. That was a very close last circle fight between these 2 teams. But a 3v2, I mean, you gotta give it to the winners right there.
The winners, they did wonderfully well. Both these teams, actually, you have to give them credit because nobody could have predicted what would happen. Elves were not the most likely candidate to win this fight. I'm going to be honest, because at one point, they had so many players knocked out. At one point, I think I remember only one of their players was still standing. He managed to get 1 res, and then both of them still managed to keep resing their players while fighting the other team at the same time. I have to say, if Aim Gaming won that game, I wouldn't be as impressed as I was with Elves because they were the ones who, despite all odds, came out on top. But I have to give credit to 0 Degrees as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, gamers and pros, welcome back. That is not us on the screen. We are the disembodied voices for the English desk. I am PC Peasants Gaming, or you can call me PCP Venom, or you can call me Roheen. And I've got Crips here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Contrary to the man who just said multiple names, you can just call me Crips. I have only one. And yeah, we're not the voices on the screen. On screen is the beautiful Manu Karki, aka Krat, and Ketan Patel, that's K18 Gaming. And we are now approaching the last stage of the day, the last game of the day. It's going to be on the snow map, Vikendi. What do you think?
Vikendi is just one of those maps that I absolutely hate to play. And whenever my viewers ask me to play sub games Vikendi, I just avoid it. I really don't know how the pros are going to approach this. I mean, Vikendi is just one of those maps where you need a vehicle, you need a sniper rifle, and you need to be playing position again and again. So let's see what happens. I mean, Orange Rock is doing pretty well so far. Hopefully, let's see the standings. And teams with good snipers are definitely going to be in a great position. What do you think?
Actually, Vikendi is one of my favorite maps. I like it much more than anything else. The only thing that tops Vikendi is air angle. That's like the classic. Yeah, most of the times in Vikendi, it's the perfect combination of everything. And even though you hate playing it, I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy watching it, because this is one map which guarantees action right from the start all the way to the end. Because most of the times the circle in Vikendi just completely destroy everybody and goes somewhere with half of it in the water. Speaking of circles, let's take a look at which teams are on the top as we enter the last game of the day.
Let's remember this is match 3. These are match 3 standings, and I think we've been saying it wrong. It's Team Elvis at place 20 points, first place. We've got AIM Gaming, second place with 14 points, but total kills, Team Elvis 14 kills that last match. Holy shit.
Jesus.
Holy shit. Am I allowed to say that? Marcos Gaming, 0 degree, third place. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalize on that first place position. Rip Squad, 4th. Initiative, 5th. Team Insane, 6th. Team Tamil, 7th. And Umamba, 8th. We got some decent kills across. Rip Squad and Marcos Gaming, 7 kills each. And Initiative and Team Insane sharing 3 kills each. This was quite a good game for all these teams, and I'm really looking forward to the overall standings that we will see at the end of the day. Let's hope that... sorry, Crips, you were saying?
I mean, I'm going to do a little prediction for the overall standings. I think at this point, Team Els might just have overtaken Orange Rock, who got surprisingly very less points in this game. Only 4 points. That's 3 kills in total. That's not the kind of performance we're used to seeing from Orange Rock. But speaking of that, Cells this time had a surprisingly bad game, which isn't really, it's uncharacteristic of them.
Yeah.
Umumba somehow managed to get quite a lot of points, and they did get ahead. But Orb Elites and Team Revenge are still at the bottom, which paints a really bleak picture for these two teams. Somehow, Genocide was not able to do a lot of damage in this one, even though I expected them to come out on top. Full Power, once again, went the distance, but was fumbling in the mid-game rotations as they got caught in between two teams. And that's not a position you would like to find yourselves in. Rowan?
Yeah, man. It's not been the greatest game for all these teams, and luckily, if some of these teams here do have decent points, and they will be able to hopefully make it up back in Vikendi. I'm really looking for the overall standings. If we could get that would be really helpful. But you know, my money is still on the Marcos Gaming will come back with a couple of kills, 14 kills, right?
Yeah,
that is something. I mean, these guys are performing.
Actually, Elves were the ones.
Sorry, Team Elves were 14 kills. Okay, yeah, my bad. Sorry, I meant Team Elves then. And Marcos Gaming was definitely. They were there in this last circle, but I don't know what happened. They just lost that position. And we're back in the game, and the game has started. It is Vikendi, match 4, last match for the day. Orange Rock Anto is just flying ahead. He's like, hey man, I don't need the airplane. I'm good. He's got his own private helicopter. So here we go. Here we go, boys.
Yeah, the game does like to mess with us quite a lot by glitching out at times. I mean, I remember that one glitch at the end of Sandhawk where I thought it was Team Revenge who won the game, but then the game showed that it's Team Aim who came out on top. We
Right.
eventually did find out it was Revenge who won indeed, and my eyes were not deceiving me. But speaking of deceiving people, Umumba are dropping straight down on the Podwasto. I'm actually I actually was expecting many more teams to go over here, but surprisingly, Umumba will be unchallenged in Podwasto. Full power taking control of Cosmodrome, which honestly was one of the places I expected many more teams to land. Celts safe in Peshkova, Insane taking Trenovo, and a lot of teams are still in the circle, so most of them won't have to rotate. And Rohin, are you seeing this? The circle is
Yes.
actually fair. Most of the times, whenever we see the circle, it's half in the water with
Yeah.
very less playroom available. This time, there's quite a lot.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, this is a good circle to begin with, and a land circle is always a good circle. So I'm quite happy with this. At least we'll get to see some firefights, some forest fights. Yeah, and it is a lot of rotation for some of those teams which dropped on the far right side of the map. And already we've got Team AIM Gaming, Team Orb, and Team Initiative already in the same vicinity. Shots are starting to ring out in the distance. Let's see how this plays out. AIM Gaming, a very good team playing consistently. They're kind of in their groove right now. Do you think they're going to capitalize and actually take these shots? Oh my god, their shots fired. Crips. Let's hear that beautiful play-by-play. Here we go.
Here comes the Molotov. Surprisingly, Aditya is under the ladder, so he won't be getting affected by it. And another one, just for good measure. That's cool and all, but I'm concerned about Team 8. That's Team AIM, who have their players very far spread apart. Usually that would have been a good thing to do if you're in open ground, but spreading out in an urban fight could lead to a disaster. Either way, Aditya is smack in the center of dangerous territory as he's surrounded by multiple people of AIM Gaming. Orb, on the other hand, are relatively close by, so this team will have the advantage of trading with each other as the fight progresses. Tsunami has taken a nice position up on top, and I don't think Muse saw him, and as he tries to kill his teammate, Tsunami will cover him, and Muse will hit the ground. I think they might be able to finish him off too.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Muse right there. And it's not looking good for Team Initiative. Yep, no. I stand corrected. Crucifer has managed to get an... Oh, but Nerf Fairs is not allowing this to happen. As usual, teams pushing in. They're pushing in. They're not going to let this res happen. Team Orb making quick work of Team Initiative. Holy hell. They came, they saw, they conquered. Team Orb losing Ayush and Tsunami in the mix, but they still managed to wipe out Team Initiative, and now AIM Gaming in a very good position. 4v2. Team AIM Gaming is gonna want to take this fight, right, Crips?
Definitely. They know both the players of Orb are inside that house. One little flashbang up on top should be enough to cover them all. But as they make their way up the stairs, this crossfire between Orb can be dangerous. But no, I take my words back. Nuff gets instantly downed. And Ducky eliminates them as if it was no tall task. They make it look so easy.
Ducky watching John Wick 1, 2, and 3 right before he jumped into this game. That was some really good gameplay from Ducky right there. AIM Gaming, I mean, just as I said before, AIM Gaming has been playing consistently well, and if anything, they just showed that they've improved, and this is probably going to be a good game for AIM Gaming. I hope I didn't jinx this for them, but I'm hoping that they'll be able to keep this consistency, though that raw aim till the end of Vikendi.
Like I promised, Vikendi is one of those maps where you see action right from minute 1. It's hardly been 4 minutes in the game, and 2 teams are already eliminated. That does say something about the level of preparation these teams have done for each other. I'm actually surprised that AIM Gaming were the team that, stayed back and they tried to third party it. Usually they're the ones who go ahead and try to take the fights first. But this time they held their ground and they were rewarded for their patience.
Yeah. And there we go, Anto in the snowmobile. And we have Team Tamil, just driving by. Hopefully, we can see a quick Orange Rock Team Tamil fight. But no, TT Spray decides he's not going to take this fight and he just drives off. They might have intel that Orange Rock is here right now, and hopefully, we will see some combat. But I gotta say, Mavi, the man of the hour, the man of the day. We saw some interesting plays from Mavi. What do you think, Rips? How has Orange Rock been performing so far?
Well, they started off really well, but I kinda was disappointed about their performance in Miramar, and I was disappointed about that car crash as well. If it was at a higher speed, it would have taken away a lot of HP. But coming back to Orange Rock, so one thing that I would really like to point out about what they did in Miramar is they took control of two hills who have the two hills that have a really steep slope, and there was only one way to get in between those two hills. That's the valley, and they took complete control of it. It should have worked out for them, but because Mavi decided to not engage at the same time as his teammates, maybe there was a lack of communication. That's why Orange Rock, they did not do well in Miramar. Let's see if they learn from their mistakes and do not repeat them in Vikendi. And as I say that, the first circle starts to shrink. A lot of the teams now moving into position. Insane, as we say. That's one good thing about Vikendi. Some of the places you can cross the river right without waiting for any bridges. You can just walk onto the old people. Everyone now knows what esports in the country is, and I'm really proud of it. So it's not any of the teams, it's not any of the players who are the MVPs, it's you guys, it's the viewers who made all of this possible. So thank you.
Team Elves, Snipu.
Yeah.
I gotta say, is it Snipu or is it Nipu? I think it's Nipu. Because, yeah, it would be Nipu. So,
yeah.
the 14 killer like team. Yeah, I mean, I really wish we had like a list of the names so that we didn't butcher it on live stream. Like, seriously, guys, we're so sorry. I know a lot of you will rewatch the stream, you'll rewatch the gameplay, and you'll be like, what the hell are these guys talking about? That's not my name. We're so sorry for butchering your names. We really are. But hopefully, as we move forward with the PMCO matches, every day almost every day till the end of this month, you will be having our soothing voices telling you what's what in the PUBG Mobile esports scene in India. So don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't blah 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 blah. Just,
I see what you did there.
My words.
It's okay. Happens to the best of us.
Yes. Kill me.
Best of us, JSL, the team who shined a lot in Sandhawk, now are shining once again as they continue to plummet Team Elves with a lot of bullets. We did not see that action on our screen, but we did see it on the kill feed. They got multiple knocks. And there's a nice M249 up for grabs.
What do you think of the M249? I think it's a very difficult gun to handle in PUBG Mobile, for sure.
Yeah, but if you do manage to control it, it is insane. I think it's better than the AUG, especially in team fights, because you never have to reload. That's one thing.
Exactly.
And if, God forbid, you are in a car in front of a player with an M249, you can just say your prayers because you are gonna die. Weapons like the DP, the M249, the ones which have a lot of bullets in them, and the LMGs, these can tear the vehicles into shreds. And in a map like Vikendi, where vehicles are really relevant, the M249 is an extremely strong gun to have. Well, while I say that, Yumumba up on top of the hill. AIM Gaming are right underneath them, which is great because they won't be spotted from this distance. But I think Destro has just spotted the head of Zeus, and he's using TBP to get a perfect angle onto him. Now he's out in the open. This is the perfect chance for Destro to come out and in the face.
I'm not really sure what's happening because Destro did have an angle on him, and
yeah, he did.
It looks like AIM Gaming is now going to be quickly in a fight with Yuma. A lot of shots are being fired, but not between AIM Gaming. It's Team Insane. Yumamba. No, sorry. It was Yumamba. I get confused sometimes with the the inclusion of the team names in the mountains.
Oh well, that wouldn't be the first time. I mean, it happens all the time. But
Yeah.
that's what the whole game is about, right? Like, we are just the casters. We can see everything that's going on. But imagine if you're in the shoes of Umumba, and you have on one side AIM, and on the other side you have Team Insane. You're gonna be really confused as to which team to engage with first. So luckily, we don't have to, bear the burden that these players are facing. AIM Gaming engaged with Team Insane. The shots don't connect, and Naruto will be able to make it away. But that was a good thing, because now Naruto, he moves away, but he's made Rocky give up his position. Unfortunately, Naruto ran it right into the boot camp of Team Genocide, and Naruto is a dead man. The anime character, who surprisingly has a lot of plot armor in the actual story, this time will be dying really, really soon.
I spot Otaku in the chat right now. Okay, we see Umamba sort of getting a beautiful nade on Ip Man. Oh my god, that... I want to say Kobe. Rest in peace. But yeah, looks like AIM Gaming and Umamba right now in a fight. Bhishma, if I'm saying his name correctly, trying to get another nade in. Doesn't hit Ip Man. And AIM Gaming needs to now push. Oh, looks like Ip Man just getting shot from another angle. And all those nades have caught the attention of surrounding teams. Team Insane, if I'm not mistaken, is now peppering Ip Man.
I mean, they were at the bottom, and even though they're not in any danger, they're still trying to make things difficult for Yumba and AIM, who are trying to finish each other off. Destro finally decides to take matter into his own hands and check out which team is over there. I think he has more pressing matters to attend to. AIM Gaming, going down the mountainside, will not be allowed to make an escape as Bhishma finally gets one more. This time it's Ducky who hits the ground. Luckily, he has a teammate right beside him and a building to take cover of, so he's not in imminent danger.
I stand corrected. I mean, AIM Gaming had such a in games, and it looks like they're shitting the bed right now with so many knocks. It looks like they're going to have to heal themselves and get out of there. That's just not a position that they're able to defend. And Umamba keeping the pressure on them with the verticality. You know, Bhishma knows that they're there. He's trying to get an angle. And now we have the map. Take it away, Crips.
Well, we did see before the map popped up, Celts was also in the fray. They were trying to land a couple of shots onto Team AIM, but that doesn't really matter for now because AIM is safe. The next circle pops, and surprisingly, it doesn't change much. Most of the teams are still in the circle, so they are all playing in and around Gorka. 7 Cs and 0 degrees, a bit close to each other. Meanwhile, Orange Rock have a nice hill setup, which gives them 360-degree view. Should allow them to take a look at Team Power as well, who are slowly but surely getting really close to Team 0 degrees. And we're back to the northern edges of Goroka, where AIM, who did win the early fights and eliminated 2 teams, are still having quite a lot of advantages. They have 3 players still alive, and I'm assuming that because they're still in Goroka, they can loot up more. But now they know that Celts are approaching them from the other side, and Rox is out in the open. But no! How on earth did Rox manage to knock out Ip Man? He had the angle onto him, but Rox, with great reflexes, knocks him out first. That's a good engagement for Celts, and that's a brilliant start.
And that's why you don't full body peek Ip Man ping. Oh no! Celts Rock gets Ducky as Ducky tries to rotate, and they toss him brutally into the floor. They are not messing around. Celts Rock, Team Celts is now looking for surrounding areas, trying to find AIM Gaming. Ip Man knocked as well. It is up to Zeus. Where is Zeus? And that is the question. Zeus is far away. He will not be able to make it to his teammate, and it looks like Zeus has taken the decision to leave Ip Man behind as Team Cells finishes them off. Now it's about Zeus playing position here. And that's kind of the problem, right, Crips? When your entire team gets wiped out, he just pops a couple of painkillers to deal with the pain of losing his entire team. Sad Rex only in the chat, boys.
I don't think AIM Gaming should be that sad. They got plenty of points right at the start of the game, which is not that disappointing, and they still have a chance of getting more because Zeus is still in here. Now, Celts are desperately hunting for Zeus. They know that one of the players is still alive. So, even though they were first engaging with Yumumba first, AIM decided to just fall back into the city of Goroka, where they would have been if Celts did not push. And Yumumba is now looking on towards the city of Goroka as well. So, if somehow Zeus is able to stay hidden and get Yumumba and Celts to fight each other, that's going to be the best case scenario for that man.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with you right there. Team Cells, as always, has been playing kind of decently. I mean, they've had a good couple of games. They've not been able to cultivate their initial momentum into like decent kills later on, but hopefully Vikendi would be a change of pace for them. And Zeus is just third person peeking them. He's just lying low as Team Cells, like a bunch of beagles, hint hint, I have a beagle at home. A bunch of beagles try to sniff out Zeus from this little location here. Oh, did Cells see some movement? I think he did.
Yes, they did. They definitely did. They've snipped out Yumumba. But let's see if they are only satisfied with sniffing or they actually want to bite and bark them out.
Did you say sniffing? You said sniffing. Ha.
What's wrong with sniffing?
I just love that word. That's it.
Okay, then.
Yeah, it's just it's just one of those things that when you have a lot of dogs and they're always sniffing, it's just, you know, never mind. Moving on. professional right here. All right, let's look at the circle here. We've got 7 Seas North, full power, also in the north, and Orange Rock, also kind of north center. GSL knocking Sonic in the kill feed. We heard the shots in the distance. And let's see what JSL's up to. JSL is all 4 people alive and well-to-do. We've only lost 2 teams so far. 16 teams, remember, viewers. It's 14 teams left. Surya OP, we got a couple of nice kills from JSL in the previous matches. I believe it was Sandhawk, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts on JSL so far? Let's fly.
What I think about them in this game is very similar to what I thought about them in Sandhawk as well. So they're on the southern edge of Goroka, across the frozen river, which means they can stay holed up there forever and ever, and no team will ever. If any team decides to fight them, that's going to be a clear suicide. So for that matter, GSL have a good position, which is great. It's something that they did in Sandhawk as well. If you remember,
right,
in Sandhawk, Power Gaming were the ones who had the high ground. But GSL, they stood behind a rock and they managed to individually make Power Gaming make mistakes and turned a 2 versus 4 fight into 4 separate 2v1 fights, which give them the advantage of
Okay, we've got 7 Seas throwing a molly at Orange Rock. Final boss, and the shots are being fired. Final boss spraying down, not getting much as John takes a big chunk of health. 7 Seas setting a position, trying to push in. Daljit watching the circle. Oh, he sees 7 Seas 420 and he gets a knock. Unfortunately, our feed is a little damaged right now. We will try to figure this out. Back to you.
Well, Final Boss and Viru standing outside the house now know that they cannot enter the house without throwing in a bunch of utility. Daljit and John have a really good crossfire setup where they should be able to cover each other. If they do realize that John is on the bottom floor, they should be able to take engagements. But Mavi engages first. He gets a knock onto Zigsaw and he will finish him off as well. It's Anto. They tag team each other and they get one more 7 Seas member out of the picture. All 4 players of Orange Rock still alive. Meanwhile, 7 Seas keep losing players. Viru knows exactly where Mavi is, but he can't do much about it. He doesn't have the cover to go ahead to the other side of the house. Daljit and John staying at the edges of this house know exactly where 7 Seas are, and they can jump out at any time to finish them off, but they do manage to get the knock onto Viru. It's just 1 man left, and the smoke will not save Viru whatsoever. Down to 1. And what can Final Boss possibly do? Will he actually transition and become the final boss of the video game and pull off this 4 versus 1? I don't really think so. I guess the best case scenario that he can do at this point is somehow get away, but I don't think Orange Rock will allow him to do so. They've engaged with him. They do quite a lot of damage as well, and he has some time to heal himself before Orange Rock finally collapses upon him.
This was quite a wipe. Oh, that nade, and he's done. He's done. Orange Rock making quick work of 7Cs, and that's how you do it, and that's how you don't do it. Orange Rock proving time and again that they are not a team to be trifled with. We do apologize for the display issues that we were just having. Technicians have managed to fix it, and we're back on schedule. What did I miss, Crips?
So JSL finally decided to get out of their holes, and they are now engaging in the city of Gorka. Cells now taking fights with the Rip Squad. They do manage to get a couple of knocks, but Cells continue to pepper them down. Rip Squad, Rapsaw, the man who I failed to pronounce the name previously, does hit one back, but he will be instantly traded by Atanki. Meanwhile, while all that is happening, JSL enter the fray, and now they're trying to third party onto Rip Squad. This is devastating. JSL will be able to completely finish off Rip Squad, and once again, they win because of amazing positions. But what am I seeing? Cells lost quite a lot of players, and now they are getting surrounded by JSL. While I say that, Bhishma comes into the fray, and he gets the knock onto Fiyaz. He has just managed to save Cells for some time by taking the fights with JSL right now. And as all of the teammates of JSL converge upon that one, smoke will start to dissipate anytime soon. And JSL, Robin God throws in another one to keep them out of the line of sight of the prying eyes of their enemies. They just bought themselves a little more time, but they are surrounded by Team Raven TT on the left side and Yumama on top. Surprisingly, Yumama are playing central, even though the circle is super small and there's just one hill in the compound.
Yeah, I think Yumama has a great position right now, and you know, oh my God, Bhishma not messing around, taking Glaive out of the picture here. This is not looking good for JSL, as they really need to count their blessings that they still got 2 players alive, and they get a nade on Cells Rock. Mavi knocking power players left, right, and center. Look at that spray down. Even Team Genocide. Oh my God, that glitch, that car glitch. Team Genocide just losing one of their vehicles to the beautiful car glitch that we all face time and again. And Team Insane also spread out. I'm not really sure what's happening here. Umamba in a very good position. Team Genocide moving in to the circle. Arming themselves with smokes as they get sprayed down, and the camera just shifted, and we've got Cells also dealing with aim. Zeus, do they know he's there, or they're just smoking themselves in? Oh no.
Wait, no, what? Zeus is still alive.
Zeus is still alive. I think you just jinxed it for him.
Oh no, that's gonna be unfortunate. But Mavi is on absolute fire. He's getting so many kills. He got 3 knocks onto Team Power. Now he knocked one more player from some other team. Cells realize that they're lucky, that their days are numbered, and they just have to just back away. Raven TT take the engagement, and Humo must step into the fray as they manage to catch Robin God and transition. And
Mamba back in the game. They've had a tough couple of games, but they are showing that if they have the position, if they have the loot, they can definitely cultivate that into a couple of kills. Their body count is rising. Orange Rock on the far left, not really pushing in as much as they should, slowly rotating in, and then we have 0 degree at the edge of the circle. We've got Orange Rock, Mavi, possibly having an eye on Surya. Surya needs to do something. They're not in a very good position right now, and of course we have Cells also edging into the smokes that they've placed, trying to set up their push into the last circle as well. We've got Umamba comfortable in a position where they really don't have to worry about too much, and Cells pushing in with his we have to worry about Mr. Spray, as yes, Team Tamil sprays and they destroy him with the car. Oh my God.
That's
Team Tamil going away in a fiery wreck. That is just sad. But Ash Gamer exploding Mavi. Oh my God. Orange Rock is now in trouble. Meanwhile, Cells finishing off Surya. That's about it. He's done for. It's not looking good for Team JSL.
Whoa.
JSL, oh my God, Robin God getting 2 knocks, not letting Team Cells push them It is Fayaz and Robin versus two players from Team Cells. What is happening?
That's just incredible. I love the approach from Orange Rock. They were trying to send Mavi on a reconnaissance mission under 0 degree, but then Mavi fell back. And surprisingly, because of that, 0 degree Team Marcos are allowed to creep up on the slope, undetected by anybody. And Bhishma, I wanted to say this before, but I just didn't have the chance to. Bhishma is so far away from his team, and he's been playing that the entire damn game. Mumba focus on the northern edge. Meanwhile, Bhishma continues to keep teams coming in from Goraka. Once again, Bhishma might just be in a great position to take down Team Cells and the remaining players of JSL.
And now the circle's moved, and it is towards Team 20, that is Team Genocide, whereas the rest of the teams will have to slowly rotate. JSL not rotate as much as they have to, but it's not looking good for Marcos Gaming on the screen here right now. Marcos Gaming, Surya, they all have to do a long rotate. Even Mamba starting to think about rotating. Destro must have heard Pansing on the far left of the screen right there. And Destro's obviously going to be a little bit suspicious of those telegraphs that Pansing and gang are doing.
Oh, this is brilliant. Instead of going straight towards Mamba, they decided to go straight into Orange Rock. They probably weren't ready for this, but it's a much safer option. The dude decides to re-engage. No, this is bad. He's fighting two teams at once. That shouldn't really be happening. They have a little bit of cover, but the play zone is going to push them in really, really soon.
That was a horrible move, unfortunately, for Marcos Gaming. They lost two players in that rotate, and unfortunately, they are at a two-man disadvantage. Oh, Cells sprays down Bhishma, but he gets traded. Bhishma still pretty much in the game. Oh my god. The dude also on fire. Now it is Marcos Gaming versus Orange Rock, and they destroy them. What a beautiful show of prowess, skill, and he dies to the safe zone, the blue zone.
That's just unfortunate. Cells somehow are still alive in this game. The team who were most likely to get knocked out are alive and taking hold of even more players, as he just managed to get 2 knocks consecutively. He's covering up for what Bhishma did the entire game, and now he's stepping up. But they're outside. Cells, they need to move in quickly. Robin God, he's knocked out in the center of the game. I don't think he's going to be able to get revived by his teammates.
Even fair. Other teammates getting chunked pretty harshly by the blue zone. And it doesn't look like Team Cells is he trying to do a heal off here? Is he trying to actually heal off? He's got the first aid, he's got 10 first aids and a med kit, and I guess he's trying to play for position here because there's not much else he can do. He's also in the blue zone trying to heal himself. We've got two teams healing off in the blues as Ash Gamer manages to get fires as he drops to the play zone. Bhishma manages to train on Ash Gamer. This is looking pretty good for Mamba, as all 4 players looking strong and healthy, and we've got Team Genocide with 3 players just having lost Ash Gamer. Where is our Team 12 player? Cells still healing off. He's just hoping that he
getting most of the kills for his team. So kudos to him.
Yeah, it was quite an amazing game for Mamba. Unfortunately, I don't know why they didn't manage to get that conversion at the end. Destro giving his life away. That was unnecessary. That was an unnecessary rotate, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think, Crips?
Well, honestly, I don't blame him as much as the rest of the decisions that the other teams made, especially 0 degree. First of all, they were in so much danger from Mavi, from Orange Rock. They were getting scouted so hard. Orange Rock knew exactly what 0 degrees was up to.
Also, I need to interrupt you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to PUBG Mobile Esports, follow us on Twitter and Instagram for more amazing games. We're going to be streaming games almost daily till the end of the month. And back to you, Crips. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you probably could have said that later on as well. You get my point. 0 degrees, they did make some questionable decisions later on. I get what they were thinking. They tried to go around the zone instead of heading straight towards Mamba. They only had information about Mamba's position, so I can understand why they tried to go in. but it allowed Orange Rock to capitalize upon it. And even then, I would like to say that even though Orange Rock were the ones who had the advantage, somehow Team Marco's 0 Degree came out on top. So really, really big kudos to them for winning the aim battles which they weren't supposed to. And speaking of fights that they weren't supposed to win, how on earth did the Genocide make that comeback? It just wasn't supposed to be. They had Yumumba in a corner. Yumumba had the man advantage as well, but as Yumumba tried to get out of that little compound, I think they got a bit too overconfident at the fact that they had numbers advantage, and that's exactly what allowed Genocide to come back. What do you think?
I don't think it was overconfidence. I mean, I can understand why it would seem that way, but I think Destro was just trying to get like a better angle, and he just got caught out in the open. I'd like to, play devil's advocate here. But yeah, it's just very unfortunate that Yumama played such a good game throughout. And we are back.
And this, we have some more interesting information to share about the games that will be happening throughout the rest of this week. Interesting matchups as tomorrow Group A and I think Group C are facing off. Today it was Group A and B. And for those of you who don't know, there are 4 groups with the top 32 teams of the country fighting it out for 24 spots in the semifinals of PMCO Club Open.
It's been a great day, first day, and we saw a lot of teams perform really well. We saw a lot of teams not perform as well as they generally do. And we're going to be waiting for the standings very soon as we add up the total points. What's your bet on which team is at first place?
My bet, I think Humamba might just have come in the top 3 or top 4. On top of that, I think AIM Gaming is going to be leading the charge because they had brilliant positionings in Miramar and in Sandhawk. I think Orange Rock is pretty much going to be in the first play, in the top 3, regardless of whichever position they get. But I don't think Orange Rock care much. Orange Rock, if you've seen the performances in the past, is a team that usually starts showing up and they really start turning up the heat in the later stages of the tournament. Which means the very fact that we saw a chicken dinner from them in game number 1 itself is a testament to the fact that these guys can strike whenever they want. Then, obviously, I'm a bit concerned about teams like Orb Elite and 7Seas, who haven't really shown up throughout the entire day. I hope the remaining 5 days they can do something, which they haven't been able to do today. They try to do something new in every game, I can see, but I guess they were treating it like scrims, which didn't really work out in their favor.
That's just mean, Crips. We've had a fun, amazing game so far, and I really hope that you guys are enjoying the stream. This is Venom from PC Peasants Gaming, and I do have Crips as well here. Thank you so much for watching the English Desk. And we
Spray down, I have to take away a little credit from the dude, even though he did really well. I think it was the mistake of the other teams underestimating him, because they thought he's scholar, they thought they can take him on, but they went in raw, and then the dude gave it to them raw because he just completely annihilated them. They underestimated him. They underestimated the power that a player can have when he's holding one particular angle with an AK-47 in close range. And that's how he was able to get that triple kill. On top of that, I would really like to point out the similar playstyles of Mavi and Bhishma, because if you notice, Mavi was playing away from his team as a scout, and let's be honest, scouting is a really dangerous role in PUBG Mobile because you're away from your team with no backup.
Sure.
You can get shut down. But both of them did actually end up doing a lot.
And we have the standings. There we go. We've got match 4 standings. We've got Team Genocide with 34 points in total, 13 kills. Pretty high up. Umama with 9 kills, second place, 23 points. Team Cells, a team that I've been rooting for, see that they have 0 kills and they came last, unfortunately. Like, what a way to drop. What happened there?
Yeah, they were one of the first teams to go out. We did see the early fights in Goraka, and we knew that one of these teams is going to go out in a blaze of glory. Unfortunately, well, unfortunately for them, but fortunately for us, we got to see a double dose as we saw 2 teams go out in a ball of fire, as AIM Gaming were the ones who eliminated them right in the start of the game, before the clock even ticked 5 minutes.
Right.
That's when AIM Gaming were up there. And you see, I think AIM Gaming were on the 6th or 7th spot in the standings. Sorry.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of short-term memory loss.
Yeah. We do have some keen viewers who've spotted a point mistake, but it's okay. And this is the overall standings. Oh my god, Orange Rock first place, coming in first place with 53 points, and AIM Gaming tying with them
really
with 53 points. 53 points.
Yeah.
We've got Revenge Esports 51 points. So how does this work when 2 teams have the same amount of points?
I mean, I guess it when 2 teams have the same points, it depends on which one of these teams have a chicken dinner. And Orange, they have the chicken dinner. They did not really do it in the last few games, which means they got stagnated. Remember that out of the 53 points that Orange Rock have, 30 of them came in the very first game itself. AIM Gaming, on the other hand, they were consistently in the top 3 in Erangel, in Sandhawk, and in Miramar, and that's how they're still up there on second spot without any chicken dinner. Revenge Esports, great start to the tournament, but they did fall off towards the other few maps, Sandhawk. No, actually, not in Sandhawk. They absolutely annihilated everyone in Sandhawk. That's when they won the chicken dinner. They didn't really have a good start in Vikendi. And then we have the second page where the teams are pretty far, not pretty far apart. I mean, Cells and Marcos, we did see that they both had amazing performances throughout Vikendi, but they did not really do well to end up in the top 8. That's a bit concerning, Rohin, don't you think?
Yeah, I think Team Cells and Marcos Gaming are going to go back home and they're going to do some homework. They're going to review the way they perform. Team Cells definitely...
7Seas Esports, the team that Rohin was actively supporting a lot, that really did not get any momentum at all. They're still at 21 points. I'm actually surprised they managed to do that too, but they do have 10 kills, which is something. Although the team that really deserves all the credit is Umama, because they had such a massive comeback. At one point, Umama had less points than 7Seas Esports and Orb Elite. Now look at them. They are on the first. Orb Elite is still at the bottom. Keep in mind that Orb Elite, which was one of the top 5, I think they were in the top 8 of.
And hopefully the teams that came in the second page will go home, do their homework, and figure out a way to come back in future days.
Oh, that was it on day 1. All the teams know what they need to do in order to get back into this tournament, as we are about to wrap up the day. So don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to get more quality esports tournament content. And don't forget to follow us on our Instagrams and our Twitters and whatever. My name is Crips, and joining me today was PC Peasant, or Venom, or Rohin, whatever you choose to call him. He has 3 beautiful names, so go ahead and take your pick.